Hi, Robert Chuckrow here. In this video, I'm going to discuss the concept of doing the form on the other side, meaning the mirror image. And I'll include what Professor Cheng said to me directly and what another teacher of mine, Harvey Sober, also said. And I'll talk a little bit about my experience with it. Even before I had any inkling of anything pertaining to Taiji, I was already doing things on both sides on purpose. So, for example, I would try to use chopsticks with my left hand when I ate. I even tried writing with my left hand. I was never able to do that because of all the years that it took me to do it with my right hand. When I work with tools, I use sometimes both hands. Either hand. When you work on a car, you have to. You don't have much choice very often. If I paint, I get tired with my right hand, or I run out of space, and I continue on with my left hand. I cut in with my left hand, maybe not exactly as well as my right, but I can still do it. My pencil sharpener is mounted the opposite way, so I crank it now with my left hand and hold the pencil with my right hand instead. In the kitchen, I do things, try to change hands. And so I was doing that, and it was natural then when I started doing Taiji to ask about that, because I noticed that the form was on one side. And the senior student I asked, Lou Kleinson, if I think it was, right away, instead of answering the question, I was whisked into Professor Cheng's office. And he was told, this student wants to do the form on the other side. And the answer came back, the translation of his answer came back. The Young family never did the form on the other side. And the reason is because Taiji is for the organs, for the energy of the organs. And the organs are different on both sides. The liver is on the right side, the spleen is on the left side, the heart is a little more on the left side. And so the lung on the left side is a little smaller than that on the right. And so the form is geared to that. And if you do it on the wrong side, you can get sick. Well, at that point, I was just happy if I could learn it on one side, let alone on the other. And I didn't even think about it too much. And then I also said to myself, well, anyway, I don't even know anything about my organs, and I'm not doing it so badly that how much of a difference could it make? But I didn't try it on both sides. But eventually, I had other teachers, and a main teacher of mine, Harvey Sober, would do everything on both sides. Everything. He'd teach moves, and suddenly he'd do it on the other side without even thinking about it. When he studied Japanese sword, he did it with both sides. Held the sword in his left hand, held it in his right hand. Did all the movements both sides. Of course, not in public, but in his own practice. And he had me teach the two-person form to his senior students. And when I started doing that, he said, no, you have to teach both sides at the same time. That's how much he believed in doing things on both sides equally, or as equally as possible, because we aren't the same on both sides, but you try to make the best of it. So I asked him that question about doing the form on the other side, and his answer was very interesting. What he said, and he was so accomplished in martial arts and so accomplished also as a person, his intellect was just dazzling. And so his answer was, in China, hundreds of years ago, people were not well. They didn't have enough food. There were diseases. and the slightest thing could throw them off. But that's not true in our world. And so he believed in doing the form on both sides. And so I started doing that. And he mentioned that the advantages were tremendous, and I found that was to be the case, because you start to see things in an more objective way, and then you have questions, and then you want to get the answers, and you have insights into things. So I did the form for quite a while on both sides. Nowadays, I don't do that too much, maybe once in a while. I don't know if it had any ill effect on me. If it did, I certainly don't know of any. I'm 87 at this point, and I'm pretty good health. I know that it had advantages, so I'm not going to say to anybody, don't do it on that side, because Cheng Man-ch'ing said don't do it. I'm not going to say do it on the other side because another teacher of mine said that. But I do feel that there are two ways of seeing this, and I've found that it was of value to me to do it. Thank you.